What's up, guys? Another patch video here. This one is definitely interesting, and I don't really mean that in a good way, so we're going to jump into it and take a look at what this patch brings to the table. The free hero this week is the Archer. As I always said, you can get a discount on that by leveling it up to these levels here. If you haven't unlocked that, it's good for you. Creatures can now be boosted, so we just pretty much just jump right into the meat of this patch, and things that I really dislike about this. There's some saving graces, but for the most part I dislike this entire system. So you can now craft temporary boosts for your creatures, which will last 24 hours. Boosting a creature um, grants it two bonuses. First, it will make it more effective at its primary function. Second, it will increase its health by 30%. Also, the boosts' duration are cumulative. The limit of simultaneous boosts is dependent on your cast level. So basically, you can get more than 24 hours. That is a good thing because it's kind of annoying to have to go back on and reboost your creatures every 24 hours. So the fact that you can accumulate them up by giving itself more boosts is a good thing for this system. I don't like the system as a whole, and I want to make that clear. But that is a good thing about the system. The fact that you have to revalidate your castle every time you boost your creatures is kind of annoying. Definitely. Please note, not all creatures can be boosted. Here is the list of ones who can. Derps, completely pointless. Snotters, completely pointless, especially when the old version of the Snotter does like 3 times as much damage as the new version, meaning the chickenpox version is actually better, so there's no point in boosting because the chickenpox version cannot be boosted. It's only the new ones. Squidlies, I mean, okay, like it's the same as derps in terms of squidlies. If you really want to use that, it's probably going to cost a lot more materials because it's not like you boost a creature and every creature of that type is boosted. It's individual, so keep that in mind. Cyclopses, I haven't tested the boosted features of like charge and ground pound. But if they add more stun duration, maybe that's a thing that could be used since it increases their effectiveness, their primary function. Although they kind of switch the primary function to damage rather than stun, so I'm not 100% sure how that's really going to work. I already know how the 3-punch combo will work. They explain it down below, which is another really terrible thing that comes in this patch. Bone Puppeteers, I'll be showing that in this patch. When I go through and do some testing. I'm pretty sure it brings back the AoE. I actually haven't tested it, but I'm not 100%, but I'm relatively certain that that's what happens. So that's a good thing, I guess, for people who don't have old support units. But if you have old support units, it's pretty much exactly the same minus the 30% health increase, which I guess is a big deal. Smelly Archers, I haven't really tested them. I'm not probably going to. I'm assuming it's just a slight damage increase on them, and then the health increase. There's not really a whole lot to test with that, although they may have mistakes where Smelly Warriors are at, but I'll get into that in a little bit. Guardians, the Defendatrons, this is probably the one unit that I will actually use boosts on once in a while. The rest of these are kind of pointless. I mean, Smelly Archers, if you use them, okay, but for the most part, the rest of these units I don't really use in my castles anyway. Stairmasters sometimes, and they might actually be worthwhile. I haven't tested these, but I think I'm going to go through and test those. I think I have some boosted versions in my castle already. Hungerbots, I did test these on my own time to see if they increase the hook range enough to make it viable. I think it does increase the hook range and speed slightly, but it's not enough. It doesn't bring it back to closed beta days, which unless they do that, I don't think it's really going to make that unit all that viable. Although for people who do use it on like Punch Drunk and stuff for certain combos, I guess it can help. The thing is, a lot of these buffs that they bring in should have just been permanent to the creatures already, and if they really wanted to put in a boost function, which is a terrible idea anyway, they could have done it on top of these buffs, because the creatures that are buffed here still need more, right? It's not really even worth using them. You still want to use the creatures that are already good, like Goatmen, Devlin, Webmasters, things like that, and elites, basically. Stairmasters, Smelly Warriors, and Battering Rams. Leveling gear. This is actually the thing that I thought was going to be the best. Like, I looked at leveling gear with ingredients. I thought that was going to be awesome. I thought this was going to be like the one good thing in this patch. And then I got down, and we'll just read through it. Blacksmith has learned how to increase the level of your gear using crafting materials. However, the quality of your gear and your gear items won't change, but the stats will be increased according to the new level. Hero gear cannot be upgraded more than level 30. Some items have their own maximum level, and named items can't be upgraded. That right there was the worst. This whole thing is kind of thrown out the window because named items are what you're going to be going for anyway. It's not worth upgrading gear that's not named. I mean, it might be. I don't know the exact cost that they're actually going to be associating with this. It might be if you have lower level gear that you want to use, but for the most part, you can just find new stuff, and it's not really that difficult to do. Everybody's really looking for named items, to be honest. Like, that's the best that you can get. So the fact that these can't be upgraded is kind of a letdown. I have actually kept some of my named gear in case they brought out something like this, and the fact that you're not able to upgrade is kind of silly. Because I mean, I'm still using some items that I have back from like when I started playing this game over a year ago. Like, I'm still using some of that gear. It's like level 24, and I can't upgrade it, and I can't do anything because I can't find anything better. I've been playing this game for over a year, and my necklace is still the same necklace that I've been playing with since back in like August, like of last year. It's ridiculous. Um, so I don't know. That's kind of silly. I mean, it's a good thing, but I wish they would let you upgrade named items. They're already really, really rare. It's really hard to find them, and people who were playing back in the closed beta, like before me, because I didn't quite have enough time to get level 30 named items, but way back then have a distinct advantage over people who are playing now because the only thing that dropped back then were named items. That's it. Like, if you found an epic, it was a named item, 100% of the time. So for people who were playing back then, it was really easy. Like, I mean, derp farming for one sitting could get you an entire thing of named items, like 8 hours of derp farming, and you'd have every item that you want in the game. Unfortunately, I was only level 24 during that time, so all of my named items are like level 22 through 24, and that's why, you know, I have like a level 19, 22, and 24. It's like full named items on my archer. There's a few that are off, but for the most part, I have them. They're kind of sitting in my inventory because level 30 regular epics are better. Alright, so new content. We have a new creature, which is the Skelethor. I'll get into that in a little bit. I'll be testing him out as well. Creature abilities. This is probably another one of the worst things that came in this patch. Like, the fact that you're doing boosting is bad. The fact that you're nerfing creatures on top of it just to like make it so that people have to spend materials to boost is even more terrible. Yeah, so creatures, the following creatures' abilities are removed by default. They can be reactivated by boosting by boosting a creature for a period of time. Aura Guardian, Bubble Guardian, Wall Guardian, health regeneration. So they have this inherent health regeneration, that's all removed. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, you're mainly going for the fact that they can't attack the main high DPS units, but it's still annoying, right? These creatures don't need to be nerfed overall. The fact that you have to do this to make your new boosting system more viable is just stupid. Punching Cyclops 3-punch combo. This is what I talked about with the Cyclops. He's only going to do like a 2-punch combo now instead of a 3-punch combo. He's already terrible, so why would you spend materials on boosting him? I mean, it's pointless. Smelly Warriors, protection improvement behavior. I'm not 100% sure how this all works. I will be testing it though. It's in my castle, I think, right now. So yeah. Derp's Headfall, there's no point in using derps without boosting them now, because that's what you would be going for if you did like a derp plus 1 Defendatron, like, I don't know, 25, 24 derps and a Defendatron, 23 derps and a Defendatron, and then you try to get all of that headfall damage at once to burst kill someone. That's like the only strategy that you can use in actual castles that are trying to get kills by using derps. So it's pointless to use them unless you're going to spend the materials to boost them now. Snotter's coward behavior. I don't think this is really a big deal, but I haven't tested it. Like I said, old Snotters, if you have chickenpox version, are already better than probably even boosted versions of Snotters, so there's no point in doing it. Because Snotters now, the new crafted version, only launch 1 shot, and it's like, I don't remember the damage, I think it's like 60 or something, and old Snotters, the chickenpox version, launch 2 shots, and they're both like 120 or 200 or something. I don't know the exact values, but it's more damage and an extra shot, so there's no point in using the crafted version. it's a huge increase or decrease or whatever. I haven't tested it recently, so they may have like done a stealth change to it, but if they didn't, then that would be the case. Elite creatures are not removed by default, so I mean that's a good thing, but yeah, okay. I guess like Pete Poundmore, you really use him on 3-punch combo, so I mean that's a good thing. Like nobody really uses Cyclops on 3-punch combo, I don't think, and except for in the beginning of the game because it's a nice high DPS unit before you get things like archers and like I don't know, webmasters and snare masters and stuff like that. Goatmen. I guess goatmen are probably early on in the game nowadays. I haven't played since then, like in the lower levels. Castle validation price has been reduced to 10 blings. I can see this because you have to validate your castle every time you boost a creature, so they reduce this down so that you can just basically spend real money to have other people validate your castle for you. But it's kind of dumb because you can actually get trolls that just take forever to validate your castle and give you like a 30-minute timer. So I mean, that whole system is broken anyway. Like I realize some people won't do that. Like I won't do that. I'll actually quit out of a validation if I feel like the timer could be improved, because I don't like just taking people's blings for no reason. I'm not sure if this means that you only get 1 bling when you're doing it, or if you still get the 3. But yeah, I'm hoping that you still get the 3. Some tutorial changes, I'm not going to go over them because there's no real point to it. Various improvements, the generic error pop-up has been visually improved. I guess that's a good thing. You really shouldn't have this be popping up all that often, even though it does from time to time. The ballistic cannon icon has been improved in the crafting lab, and graphical improvements to castle victory screen and objective pop-ups. I think that's pretty much it. So let's quickly jump over to the Skelethor page. Just take a look. He costs quite heavy on the material costs. Number 42 is one of those resources that's pretty difficult to obtain. So yeah, the good thing about it is that he's pretty bad right now. We'll get into talking a little bit more about him when I actually test him in my castle. But he's pretty bad, so you don't really need more than like one of these guys, just in case that he gets buffed. I would have at least one. If you want to get 2, you can, but for the most part, I don't really think he's that good. Craft him now, you won't be disappointed, I guarantee it. Sorry, no guarantees. It's a good thing because I'm pretty disappointed in him. The 40 Giant Sweat is no problem. These things, they're not that bad, that hard to find. It's mainly the 2 number 42s that are difficult to find. So let's take this overlay off. Jump back into my castle. Alright, so you'll see some little validation tickers. These are the creatures that are currently boosted. I haven't done every single one of them. I'm just testing a few of them that I personally want to test. Things like archers I'll probably test at some point, but I'm not going to do it right now. They do cost a fair amount of material, not even a fair amount of materials. Actually, I think one of the saving graces of this system is they only cost like low tier materials, like commons and rares. It's basically what you craft the creature with. It takes like 1 or 2 of those to boost the creature. So giant sweat and stuff like that, it's not really a big deal to boost them. It's just annoying that there's going to be this constant drain on your materials, and they're kind of forcing you to either buy material packs or play their terrible attacking system, right? I've talked about this for a while. The thing that makes this game unique is the defense system. If you're going for attacking, you're going to want to play like an action RPG. You're going to want to play something like Diablo 3 or something. It does it way better than this game. So the fact that they're like trying to pronounce their attacking system, like support their attacking system more than their defense system, is kind of annoying. Like linking the two together, I realize the whole game is linked like that, but they're like making you want to play. They're trying to make people want to play attacking castles. They're making people want to try to do that, and that's not the way to do it because it's not fun. That's why people farmed in the beginning. If it was fun and rewarding to actually attack castles, people wouldn't farm, because farming is boring, right? But you just want to get the attacking part over as quickly as possible so you can make a new defense and get fun replays. That's the whole point of the game, and at least in my opinion, that's what I have fun with. So let's jump into my castle and take a look at this. The Smelly Warrior itself is going to be pretty interesting. I'll just leave it at that. It's going to be interesting. So yeah, let's jump into this real quick. I have my archer, good. I have all my normal gear on. I think I even have this cloak on, which is my defense cloak. So let's bring this guy out to really take a look at him. This is the boosted version, right? So this is the version that you pay extra materials for to have 24 hours worth of boost. 422. Let's just take a look at his damage a little bit. You guys might already see where this is getting at, but I won't spoil it for anybody who doesn't know the damage of Smelly Warriors to begin with. So we're looking at about 400 to 500 on his damage. I haven't seen anything over 500, haven't seen anything really below 400. So that's pretty much where we're at. Alright, I did want to test out this, but I'll just bring this Enrager Bone Puppeteer over with my other guy, I guess. I wanted to make sure that he does indeed have his AoE. Actually, I can test it on his skeletons, never mind. So yeah, he's got his AoE. So that's one good thing about this, is if you want to boost your Puppeteers, you can basically have the same unit that I have with my my chickenpox version. I mean, it'll have 30% extra health, but you noticed I one-shot him anyway, even though he was enraged, so that doesn't really matter. So, yeah, I mean, they still should have just brought this back in to begin with. They shouldn't have added this to boosting. It's so stupid. I feel like if this was their idea all along, and they had this vision all along, it's really, really annoying and really frustrating. The fact that they knew about this boosting way back then and took out all of these tiering abilities so that they could bring them back in boosting, I hate that idea. I hate that like entire game design philosophy. This is the unboosted heavy-handed creature. It's the same level, it's the same exact thing. If you remember back to this one, it was 400 to 500 damage. So let's take a look at this unboosted creature. 900 damage. I'm probably gonna die. 800 damage. So somewhere between about 800 and 1000 damage on this one. So I don't know what they did. I have no idea how they made that mistake. I really have no idea. The only thing that I can think of is that they took, back when they doubled the damage of every creature and every character in the game, they took the stats from that old one before that buff and put it into the game with boosting somehow, and just made it so that if you click that boost button, it auto nerfs your Smelly Warrior. I have no idea. I don't even know. I haven't tested the other stuff that's down this way. I haven't actually tested these yet, so this is going to be an experience for both of us. I'll heal back up again. I just wanted to see if there's any speed differences or anything, so I'm going to like bring them into a straight area where I can see them a little bit better. So it looks like they're about the same exact speed. Let's see when they remove their shields. That was weird. Hold on. There was something weird there, I just don't know what exactly it was. I'm trying to get them close together. I think this one removes its shield first. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. Is the unboosted version removes its shield first. And a little bit farther away. So basically this one stays shielded a little closer to the attacker. I guess we'll test damages. So that's 160, 150. Where's this one? 140. It's about the same. It's probably the exact same damage. The only difference between these guys being boosted is one has 30% increased health and stays shielded literally like a couple pixels closer to the hero. It's really not that big of a deal. So I don't think this is really going to be a worthwhile person to use if you weren't using it before. And if you were using it before, it's not even really worth using boosted, I don't think. It might be, but there's still 30% increase isn't that much when you're talking about 2 to 3 shotting a creature. It's probably still going to be 2 to 3 shots. I mean, maybe it increases by one shot, which might be worth it, but yeah. Let's take a look at Stairmasters. This guy actually looks a lot cooler, I will tell that. And they brought back the AoE, so that's really what they were doing the entire time. They were thinking about this tier system, and back when they responded to the issue, like a couple months ago, and they said that we had a plan or something for tiering and that it'll be back in the future, I think this was their plan all along, which is kind of sad. I want to make sure about the damages. Looks like it's about the same. Yeah, it's the same damage. The fact that the AoE is big again, I do like that. It might make the unit worthwhile, but the fact that I have to spend a constant amount of materials to actually get these guys, it's really frustrating to me. So I probably won't do it, but it's okay. I will test the other version of the Stairmaster. Unfortunately, they got rid of the pink one because I actually liked that unit. I just wish they brought back units that functioned well with it, like the Hungerbot, and even sometimes Cyclopses could push people into those pink Stairmaster balls, but yeah. So that's pretty much the extent of what I'm going to test in the boosting thing. Basically, you get a 30% health increase, and it brings the unit back to defense crafting status. That's really what it does. So they nerfed every creature when they brought out defense crafting, and now they're bringing them back up, but making you spend materials every 24 hours to keep them like that. The system, in my opinion, like it really, this is probably one of my least favorite patches they've brought out in a really long time. Alright, so what does this guy do? Well, he follows you around, and he can't attack even though his attack is ranged. So you'll notice that once he starts attacking, he will continue, and he'll throw these things out, and it's a pretty decent range. I don't actually know how long it goes. I wonder if it just goes until it stops, and if you can actually get hit by it from that far away. Let me see if I can test it. Okay, so it does. It really just keeps going. You can't really get away from it once it starts. The unfortunate part is that the projectile is... I'm trying to get it... I really want to see if there is a max range to it. Okay, it looks like it's about headshot range, to be honest. What was I going to say? The projectile speed of this thing is really short. Like, it's kind of silly. It's like a 12-point unit, and the damage is around 400. So it's basically like Rambomb. Is that the right name? I think so, yeah. It's basically like Rambomb, except his projectiles are super slow. That's pretty much exactly what this unit is, and it's melee unit instead of ranged. So I don't think this unit is all that good. It's pretty much the same damage, the slower projectiles, the non-AoE, and the melee unit, all of those things being a nerf to Ramdom, who is already kind of bad, and then all you get is a small stun on top of it. I think that's pretty terrible. So yeah, I'm not going to be using this guy unless he gets buffed. The buffs that I think he needs is projectile speed, maybe slight damage up to around 600 damage instead of 400. What else? Maybe being able to attack just from slightly farther away. It doesn't need to be an actual ranged unit, but it needs to be, I don't know, like he can attack from like right here. It might need to be like a slightly mid-ranged unit, maybe slightly less than Goatman range would probably be about the best thing for him. So that's pretty much the patch in a nutshell. I'm not overly happy with it, as I've said. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, you can share your thoughts on the patch down below in the comments. I'll take a look at them, maybe respond to some. But I'm not really entirely happy. If you find any Easter eggs, kind of like I found with the 2 Smelly Warriors, where there's just a random nerfed Smelly Warrior, like it says the same stats when you have them on bonus, but it clearly isn't. It does make them look a little bit cooler. He's got like these big shoulder arm guards, and maybe that's like the lore behind it, is these shoulder plates actually slow down his attack and make him attack a little less hard, so he only deals about half damage. I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense to me. So if you find any Easter eggs like that where the damages are skewed or something just doesn't seem quite right, definitely share that down in the comments below. I'd like to take a look at it, but that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.